All right, people. Jesse Bam Rodriguez stopped Sonny Edwards after 9 rounds. The corner stopped the fight after the ninth round. Sonny Edwards never came out for the 10th round. When this fight was announced, I was looking forward to it. I thought this had the potential to be a really, really good fight, and it was. It was a really, really good fight. A lot of people going into this fight were picking Sonny Edwards to win on points. Now, I said from the get-go, even on certain live streams, I said that I expect Bam Rodriguez to do a job on Sonny Edwards. In fact, the words I used was, I expect him to lift Sonny Edwards clean off the ground. That's what I thought would happen. And it pretty much went the way I planned. Now, the only thing is, though, Sonny was very aggressive in this fight, more than we're used to seeing him. He didn't waste as much energy. He wasn't moving around the ring. To some extent, you could say Sonny Edwards moves unnecessarily because he wastes a lot of energy. He's always on his toes. He's always bobbing and weaving. He's always moving. And, some would say it's akin to running. To a certain extent, he does certainly waste a lot. But in this fight, he stood his ground. He traded. He let big shots go. I suspect Sonny Edwards realised, well, here's the thing, right? When you look at Sonny, very, very good boxer, tremendously talented. And not just is he talented, his ring IQ and his knowledge of the game is very good. I mean, if you ever hear Sonny talk about boxing, Sonny would make a great trainer. A great pundit. Well, he already is a good pundit, but he'll make a great trainer whenever he decides to call it a day because he really gets it. And I would say Grant Smith is the perfect coach for him because he really gets it as well. The two of them just seem to click when it comes to boxing and how to break a fight down. I would say that even in the ring, he's working on, okay, if I do this. I suspect against Sonny, I expect against Bam, he knew, okay, this guy is going to be like a train coming at me. I can go left or right, but my plan is to go backwards, run away from it. Eventually, the train will catch up when I start to get tired. That's kind of what I was thinking. So I'm assuming by his logic, it was stand and trade and try and stop it in its tracks. He's only got 4 KO wins. He hasn't had a KO since 2019, I think, so it's been a while. And he really had nothing to keep Bam off with. He really didn't. And Bam was able. Again, I expected him to be able to just walk in. I did think early on, and he was to an extent, but I did think early on we'd see a lot of movement from Sonny Edwards. I thought that he would pick up a couple of the early rounds, which he did. Obviously, there wasn't as much movement as I thought there would be, but Bam would eventually gradually break him down. Now, the first round I gave to Sonny Edwards. Actually, the first and the third round were the only real rounds I could look at and say, okay, Sonny won. Every other round, the fourth could have really went either way, but every other round it was Bam and Bam big. In the second round, Bam Rodriguez won that round clearly, hands down. And he landed a left hand. When you're watching it live, it was kind of hard to see. You were like, what actually happened there? But when you see it on the replay, he lands a left hand right underneath the eye. Just underneath there on the bridge of the eye. And instantly you can see the eye swell. Instantly. Sonny Edwards said that after that shot landed, he couldn't see out of his left eye. And as the fight progressed, the facial damage to Sonny Edwards just got worse and worse and worse. The eye started swollen, the eye started closing, and then you saw the cuts, the blood, everything. And at that point, Bam, it was really, as I said, after the fourth round, Bam really started to get a hold in this fight. In the sixth round, it was a horrid round for Sonny Edwards, the sixth round, but it was also a kind of funny one. It was almost, so basically in that round, Sonny Edwards gets backed up against the ropes. And Bam Rodriguez lets loose a combination on Sonny Edwards. Now, he is blocking the shots, to be fair, but the vision of that, you if you were a referee, you'd take a look. You wouldn't stop it, but you'd take a look, and you don't want that. Now, Bam, that was near the end of the round. Bam Rodriguez kind of takes a step back, sticks his tongue out, and showboats a bit at Sonny Edwards whilst in range. Don't do it while you're in range. He takes a little nut in right hand, but I did kind of find it funny. The showboating while in range. Oh, you hit me with a right hand. Okay, I won't do that again. I did find that a bit funny now when I watched it, but it was still more of the same. It was a very, very good fight. Credit to both guys. Sonny Edwards, a lot of people speculate that because he fights so defensively minded, because he moves so much, it's to cover up for a weak chin. I don't think so. I mean, he took loads of shots in there. Bam Rodriguez can really crack. And only when the punt resistance was beaten out of him is when Sonny Edwards finally succumbed to the punishment in the ninth round. And in that ninth round, it was a terrible round for Sonny Edwards. It really was. You could see the other side of his face was starting to get marked up. The blood was flowing. His face was mashed up in there. It really was. And he showed a picture of his face post-fight. Damn. I mean, this guy, fair play. Like, he took his beating like a man in there. He really did. A lot of people say when you're as mouthy, which he is, as Sonny Edwards is, a lot of those guys tend to have, a bit of quit in them. They don't tend, when the tough gets tough, they tend to, do one. Sonny Edwards definitely is made from some thicker stuff than that, 100%, because he was still fighting. He took the beating like a man. But in the 9th round, started off bad, took a left hand, Gum Shield came out. Bam Rodriguez still putting it on him. But interestingly, the 9th round, although Sonny Edwards got stopped in it, he did give a little bit back. He really started sitting on his shots. He landed a couple of shots on Bam Rodriguez. Again, he just didn't have the power to be able to get Bam's respect in there. There was nothing he was hitting Bam with. Even when he was really sitting down, turned into the shots that Bam Rodriguez, you'd look at and think, oh wow, I want to be careful not to get hit with that again. It wasn't anything like that. And then towards the back end of the round, Bam lands a big left hand. Sonny Edwards goes down face first. The referee let the fight carry on, purely because the bell was going to go anyway. But you knew that Sonny Edwards, he's been dropped, mile behind on the scorecards. 2 of the judges gave him 3 rounds. 1 judge only gave him a round. I tend to kind of say, I gave him 2 rounds. I gave him the first and the third. That was it. So kind of those scorecards looked a bit spot on, to be fair. You could probably give him a share of the 4th if you really wanted to. Corner, Grant Smith just called the referee over. That was it. No complaints from Sonny Edwards. Bam Rodriguez absolutely elated with the win. Fantastic performance. He said that making 112 pounds this time was tough. He did. It was only 2 years ago he was 108, went to 115, and going back to 112 was tough. He didn't look the best at the weigh-in now, it has to be said. So it's likely that his future now is going to be back up at 115. 2 names spring to mind at that weight. 2 absolute legends. The living legend, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, and a man who's... I actually find Bam Rodriguez not to be too dissimilar in terms of style from Juan Francisco Estrada. And Juan Francisco Estrada is one of my favourite fights. Juan Francisco Estrada. And I can just imagine that fight being an absolute cracker. It really could. Estrada versus Bam, fireworks. So there's a lot of big fights there for Bam Rodriguez. He's only 23 years old. This kid is talented as hell. He's only 23 years old. As for Edwards, he'll need some time off after that, because he took a pasting in there. He really did. But he's still fighting at 112. There's still fights to be made there. He could yet go to 115, who knows? But, credit to both guys. Tremendous fight. I really enjoyed it. And this has, whet the appetite nicely for next week. There was also a couple of fights on the undercard. I did see the Peter McGrail fight, I think is how you say that guy's name. Again, what was the guy's name? Something of Quinn. I'll talk more about that in review of the week. But that knockout was something else. Out of the blue. Real out of the blue. It reminded me of Julian Jackson versus Harold Graham, that type of knockout. Not quite as devastating as that, but just, so in control. One guy having almost a field day in there, and then boom, he's gone. Crazy knockout. Absolutely crazy. There was a lot of knockouts over the course of the weekend between the Jake Paul fight, the Showtime show, and obviously this card. There was a lot of big knockouts. People wanting to get their knockout of the year contenders in late. Well, there's a few of them. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed it, people. Smash the like button if you could. Hit subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. Might try and get a live out later for you guys. Do a quick preview of this coming fight this weekend. Obviously, the show in Saudi. And we'll talk a little bit more about this later. May do a live. Depends on how time-wise goes, time constraints and stuff like that. But we'll see. For now, I will leave it with that. I hope you enjoyed it, people. Peace.